So from a government perspective, some of the key trends we're actually seeing today is governments starting to embrace all these latest technologies, like the embracing of AI and deep learning in certain government jurisdictions around the globe. But a lot more focus is around data and analytics to actually analyze the current databases they have with them. Yeah, so at Public Sector Consulting, we've hired a number of professionals from other consulting and from the technology industry, where we solely focus on specific verticals like data analysis and AI and building of technology platforms in cloud. So we have a very well-trained set of consultants or individuals that actually have very deep domain knowledge in this space. So some of the key challenges in Gov today is firstly, data is varied and data does exist in multiple sources or databases. So extraction of data from multiple sources has been a key challenge. Bad data is obviously a very common problem, and cleansing of data has been also another key challenge. But I think overall, once you've got your data in a common store and the data is well cleansed, the applications of AI becomes much easier, and you can achieve quite a lot with the use of AI in government today. Yeah, so I think from that perspective, data has become such a critical aspect in government today. So analyzing reports, looking at outbreaks from COVID perspective, looking at the reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, having the data on hand is absolutely critical in order to achieve a lot of these capabilities. But more importantly, I think the application of AI helps tremendously around reporting capabilities and allowing governments to utilize these data sources more effectively. Events like this brings government agencies together, or departments, and this is where we get to meet each other in person and talk about some of the potential problems. It helps facilitate learning amongst the government divisions and looks at various use cases and work together as a team to solve common problems. So it's absolutely, I think, important or imperative to attend these events. Simon Herbert, who is the Chief Data Officer at Customer Service New South Wales, spoke about the importance of data as spoken about by Minister Dominello this morning. So Simon spoke about the importance of data and the opportunities of gathering data from multiple sources, working with multiple divisions, and spoke a lot about the impacts of being a data-driven culture. And then we had Scott Johnson from Revenue New South Wales that spoke extensively on AI and data analytics. I was really impressed with Scott's talk, where he did speak about the effective use of predictive analytics in the revenue collection process. Key things he touched on that really touched me was identifying vulnerable customers and providing a better route for collection of revenue. And by identifying these vulnerable customers using predictive analytics, he was then able to provide an alternate way to collect revenue, like community service, etc., rather than interrogating customers. This is a much pleasant way in the use of artificial intelligence in Revenue in New South Wales. In the panel discussion, while data security, data trust, data sharing were some of the key topics, Sharon Smith, who's the Executive Director in New South Wales Health, spoke specifically about the use of data to trace COVID impacts in New South Wales. As you would have noticed, New South Wales had quite a success in the detection in the early process, and obviously the rollout of the vaccinations throughout and the adoption as well of the COVID vaccines. Sharon went into a lot of detail on the use of collection of data from the public and the private sector. She also focused on how do we go forward using a lot more analytics to actually predict the impacts as we move through New South Wales. So that was the roundup for today in the data stream. It was a very exciting topic around data trust, sharing, data architecture, and thank you very much. This is Gavin Whyte from the Public Sector Consulting. I look forward for the sessions tomorrow.